Will there be a repeat of Sunday night's dangerous storms? Find out more later on in the show.
Today is Indigenous Peoples Day. We'll tell you more on UNT's celebration of the historic day.
And you don't want to miss the last week of the Texas State Fair. We've got all the details on the fun and festivities.
Broadcasting live from the University of North Texas, this is ntTV Nightly News.
Thanks for joining us on ntTV Nightly News. I'm David Castillo.
And I'm Isabella Quintanilla. An update tonight on the case of Gabby Petito we've been following for the past few weeks. After being previously classified as a homicide, police now say Gabby Petito's death occurred as a result of strangulation. Petito's body was found last month in Grand Teton National Park in Wyoming after she was reported missing during a cross-country road trip with her boyfriend Brian Laundrie. He is considered a person of interest and has been missing since returning to Florida in early September. There are many theories proposed by individuals that Gabby Petito was a victim of domestic violence. October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month, first launched in 1987 as a way to unite individuals and organizations working on ending domestic violence and supporting families impacted by the issue. Here at UNT, the Survivor Advocate Office is sponsoring a clothing drive through October 31st with a donation box outside Union 411. The clothes will be donated to a nonprofit called Heels to Move to Heal, an organization that raises awareness and assists families and individuals affected by domestic violence or sexual assault.
We are finally beginning to get much needed rain. It all began Sunday night when lightning lit up the skies of Denton and all of North Texas. Several trees broke and collapsed across walkways, roads, and across power lines. Lightning in the moonlight was the only source of light many residents had for as long as 15 hours before power was able to return. 70-mile-an-hour winds were also recorded, which goes to show you that everything, even the weather, is bigger in Texas.
You know, that lightning looks pretty cool. I bet that was a sight to see.
Yeah, you know, I would have loved to see the lightning, not so much that wind. Let's head over to weather anchor Hannah Gonzalez to see if we've got any more rain in the forecast.
Well, David, you can see the skies behind me, and rain is definitely headed our way. But first, let's go ahead and look at our current conditions here in Denton. We can see we're sitting at 82 degrees, does feel a bit cooler at 80. Now, this is due to our 16-mile-per-hour wind speed. However, the humidity is currently sitting at 62 degrees. Now, if we take a look at tonight's conditions, we will see a 43% chance of rain. Temperatures will cool down just a bit at 79, feels about the same at 78, and we'll keep that 16-mile-per-hour wind speed with us into the night. Now, if we take a look at tomorrow's conditions, we can see it's going to be another cloudy, humid day with thunderstorms throughout the evening. However, this won't affect temperatures too much as we sit at 79 degrees, feels even warmer at 83. Now, starting Wednesday morning into Thursday evening, we're going to be on a flood watch, but I'll break that down later on in the 7-day forecast. So Isabella and David, back to you in the desk.
Thanks, Hannah. Today is a day for celebration. It is Indigenous Peoples Day, and ntTV's Nathan Mayer tells us how Indigenous peoples played an important role in UNT's history.
That's right, Isabella. Indigenous Peoples Day was celebrated on our campus with history, music, food, and culture. The relationship between Indigenous peoples and the university has a long history. The Denton land UNT stands on was once occupied by Wichita and Caddo-affiliated tribes. During the university's second year of existence back in 1890, 28 of the 131 students were from the Muskogee Creek Indian Territory, which is now in Oklahoma. Today's celebration of Native Americans and Indigenous students featured Native foods, music, art, games, and prizes. Most importantly, though, the event included information about Native tribes, their boarding schools, and the crucial issue of the missing and murdered Indigenous peoples. You can find out more information about the nation's Indigenous peoples by visiting the link below. David, back to you.
Thanks, Nathan. If you couldn't make it, don't worry. Off-campus Student Services offers activities for non-traditional students all week. ntTV's Wendy Starks has more. Wendy?
Yes, David. Non-traditional students are a vital part of our enrollment here at UNT, and with a growing student population, it can be hard to connect with others, especially as a non-traditional student. Robert Bailey is the head of off-campus student services and can tell us more about what a non-traditional student is.
These may be individuals who are older than the perceived college age, so 24 years or older. These might be student parents or individuals who have dependents that are other than their spouse. Maybe they're caretakers of other family members. These might be commuter students or those who are enrolled fully online. Maybe they spent some time in college and took a break and came back. We've got veterans who are also non-traditional students, and for UNT's purposes, we also factor in the commuter students. So we'll be hosting some programming that has extended office hours. There are several community partners that are extending their office hours past 5, so non-traditional students can have an opportunity to come in and meet with them. Today we've got Professional Picture Day. That's from 4 to 6, where we'll host basically, you can come in, get a headshot, we'll edit it and send it to you. Maybe you can use that for your LinkedIn profile. Wednesday, we have our housing fair. So from 11 to 1 out in the Library Mall, we'll be having a housing fair where the individuals can come in and look for new places to stay. Thursday evening, we'll be hosting a non-traditional and grad social. So our non-traditional students can come out to Oak Street Draft House and have a bite to eat from the Feta's Greek food truck. And then Friday, we're offering to purchase tickets for non-traditional student families so that they can go to a UNT football game as UNT faces Marshall.
If you're looking to get familiar with the Mean Green family as a non-traditional student, don't worry, we have events all week. For more information, look at the link below. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm ready for Glow Golf tomorrow night. That's all for now. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, Wendy. I'm sure Glow Golf is going to be a lot of fun. Let's find out what UNT is doing for the future of renewables resources.
And we've got more on how these recent natural disasters are greatly affecting our world more than we know after the break.
It's always very familiar.
Southwest Airlines is playing catch-up tonight, trying to get their flight schedule back on track. Beginning Sunday, the Dallas-based airline canceled more than 2,400 flights, straining thousands of passengers across the country. The company said it began with a 7-hour delay in Florida with bad weather and was compounded by technical issues, including getting the planes and crew to the right places for flights. Other airlines, however, didn't have the same issue with weather that Southwest seemed to experience. 87 flights were canceled today, and Southwest is expecting to be back on schedule tomorrow.
It's always a pain when severe weather shuts down flights, but that is just a small effect of the greater impact climate change is creating, not only for travelers of the sky, but for the entire U.S. Climate disasters are costly events, and the U.S. has already exceeded the amount spent in 2020 on severe weather events. ZNN's Daryl Forges has more for U.S.
From historic winter weather
I've been here for about 30 years and I ain't never seen nothing like this.
to flooding,
The recovery process for this is going to take months.
droughts, and wildfires.
The frequency of fires has skyrocketed.
These are just some of the major climate disasters that have plagued the U.S. so far this year, and the cost is adding up fast. According to NOAA's National Centers for Environmental Information, 18 separate billion-dollar weather and climate disasters occurred in the first 9 months of 2021, and it's taking a toll on the U.S. economy.
This year we have water reductions, but we don't even know if we're going to get that. So this is kind of like my American dream right here, and I hate to see it lost like that.
NOAA predicts 2021 will beat last year's record of 22 individual billion-dollar disasters. And so far, the U.S. has already surpassed the dollar amount spent on climate events in 2020.
We are seeing that wildland fires in California are growing in size, complexity, and frequency.
Hurricane Ida was the most expensive disaster so far this year, causing more than $60 billion in damage and counting, as it tore a deadly path from the Gulf Coast all the way up to the Northeast.
I think fewer and fewer people are climate deniers these days. I think the more you see this kind of thing, the indiscriminate and intense nature of the storms, I'm not sure how you can sit on the sidelines and say, we don't need to do anything.
I'm Daryl Forges reporting.
There's no question that climate change is a critical issue on a global scale, but UNT is doing some groundbreaking research in that area.
The work is being done at the Zero Discovery Lab in Discovery Park. That's the lab built specifically to help find ways of stopping the spread of fossil fuels. ntTV's Brooke Deering has more in tonight's Living Green. Brooke?
Thanks, Isabella and David. Discovery Park is sure living up to its name with its modern discoveries in the Zero Energy Lab. Their take on the development of renewable resources is the future for the world, powering the minds of mechanical engineering students everywhere. With the help of Dr. Zhao, I got to see just what this innovational laboratory is all about. Today, we take you to the home of the Zero Energy Lab, located on UNT's Discovery Park campus. The Zero Energy Lab is one of the first buildings of its kind in Texas, designed specifically to test and show how alternative ways of energy can achieve net zero natural power. We talked to the UNT Mechanical Engineering Assistant Professor Dr. Zhao for more information.
So Zero Energy Lab, like it mentioned, it integrates a lot of renewable energy technology for power the building. So the building is integrated, I think, a solar panel, wind turbine, geothermal pump, like a solar water system, solar chimney, and so on. This kind of technology utilize the sun, the wind, the underground water for the air conditioning, any electricity requirement here.
Established in 2012, this laboratory is no doubt a game changer when it comes to cleaner ways in producing energy. The Zero Energy Lab is a unique piece of architecture, from the solar-paneled wing-shaped roof to the rectangle sidewalk designed to store rain. This model is one of the only zero-energy research laboratories created, giving students the opportunity to be hands-on with alternative energy technology that could one day power the world. This lab has even begun making model homes to show just how effective these environmentally friendly practices are. Using solar panels, wind turbines, water pumps, and more, the Zero Energy Lab is diving into the world of natural power with the hope of putting fossil fuels out of business indefinitely. For ntTV News, I'm Brooke Deering. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Brooke. It's amazing to see all the ways people are trying to utilize clean energy.
My neighbor has solar panels, and it's probably something I'm going to have to look into. But speaking of the sun, let's see if weather anchor Hannah Gonzalez has a sunny outlook for us. Hannah?
Well, Isabella and David. We will see sun later on in the week, but first let's go ahead and look at our current conditions across the DFW area. We can see we're sitting in those high 70s to low 80s. We see Graham at 81 degrees, Stephenville at 83, and Paris, Texas at 72. Now let's go ahead and zoom out and look at our state map. We can see Denton is sitting at 82 degrees along with a few other cities including Amarillo, Austin, and Shreveport. Now let's go ahead and take a look at the graphic on your screen. This is a rainfall expected from Category 1 storm Pamela that is currently pushing north through Mexico. Now this storm is expected to strengthen into a Category 2 hurricane once it makes landfall in Mazatlan, Mexico, Wednesday morning. Now this will affect our 7-day forecast, so let's go ahead and take a look. We can see Wednesday is going to be a 75% chance of rain with a high of 79, low of 67, and Thursday is going to be our heaviest day of rain from Pamela with an 80% chance with a high of 81, low of 67. Then Friday we'll see a 5% chance of rain and sunny skies like nothing ever happened, but that's just Texas weather for you. And then we're going to have a beautiful weekend. On Saturday we'll see a high of 70, Sunday a low of 73. Now we will see cooler lows due to the cold front that's pushing through Texas, so make sure you enjoy the weather while you can. However, this is perfect fall weather for the upcoming Halloween weekend. That's all I have for weather tonight. Isabella and David, sending it back to y'all in the studio.
Thanks, Hannah. Although the healthy dose of incoming rain could act as a Debbie Downer when it comes to State Fair fun, there are many other activities you can spectate indoors. From an indoor car show to pig and goat races to an indoor petting zoo. Don't let the rain ruin your parade as only 5 days remain. There have also been more than 250 COVID vaccinations received since the first day. Officials say there were around 100 shots on the first day alone. The vaccine clinic is located behind Big Tex in between the tower and the grand building and operates from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. And it's free.
David, all that sounds amazing, and I do love the State Fair.
Yeah, I'm a big proponent of the hot dogs. And what is even more spectacular than the parade that lights up the fair park every night, ntTV's Michaela Goose has the story.
They say everything is bigger in Texas, and the State Fair of Texas Starlight Parade is no different.
If you read the State Fair of Texas book, The Great State Fair of Texas, the very first thing that it mentions in there on the very first page of the very first State Fair is a parade.
No two nights are the same at the Starlight Parade.
There's always a little bit of everything.
And there is everything, from live bands to beauty queens, including Miss Texas herself, to the Budweiser Clydesdales, a mini milk truck, and much more. But what is it like for the volunteers behind this magical parade?
Well, no, it's kind of like getting to run away and join the circus for 24 days.
Roughly 100 people work on the parade each year, and it takes up to 9 months to create. You could even catch some of the volunteers on the floats.
People love a parade, and that is great fun for them. So seeing everything all lit up and the music going and watching everybody's faces, watching the little kids wave, that's the fun of it.
For ntTV News, I'm Michaela Goose.
Wow, what a great event for the State Fair. Coming up, find out how the Lego Group is changing gender standards.
And I've got the story on how a local family is turning their farm into a fun family experience. Stick with us.
the LEGO Group hopes its iconic blocks can help build not just trains and houses, but a more inclusive society. On Monday, LEGO announced a plan to remove gender stereotypes from its products and marketing. This decision comes after research showed 42% of girls said they were worried about being made fun of for playing with toys associated with boys. And 71% of the boys surveyed about the same toys that are specifically associated with girls. LEGO also plans to work with the Gina Davis Institute and UNICEF to make sure its products and advertising are free of harmful stereotypes. We will wait and see what this change will end up looking like.
10 years ago, a man named Steve Logan left his job in IT and bought a farm in Aubrey, Texas. Every year for the past 6 years, they've opened up their home to the public for their annual pumpkin patch.
Down in Aubrey, Texas, just outside of Denton, Team Family Farms is opening up its gates to the public for their 6th annual pumpkin patch.
Hi, I'm Scott Logan, and I play the character, the fun cowboy Tex here at my farm in Aubrey, Texas. This is the homestead of my wife and our 5 kids. Our goal is just to see people make awesome memories. So we try to always go the extra mile and thinking of fun, creative things, smiling, encouraging, and just treating people the way they want to be treated.
We've already met the owner and the son, and they just make it feel so loving and welcoming.
They're just very family-oriented.
Aubrey Farms has brought joy to so many families, but none more than Cowboy Tex himself.
When I look over and see families and young people playing and enjoying themselves, that was my heart, that was my dream. All right, everybody, this here's Cowboy Tex and Team Family Farms in Aubrey, Texas. You better get on out here and have fun, fun, fun.
The pumpkin patch is open every day up until November 7th. For more information, check their family website at teamfamilyfarms.com.
You know, Isabella, as a Rangers fan, I was really hoping they'd be in the playoffs this year.
Same here, David. And to make it worse, the Astros are in the midst of a deep playoff run. Lincoln, please tell us you have good news for the Rangers fans, hoping to watch that all end.
Yeah, Isabella and David, I'm also a big Rangers fan, and unfortunately, I can't say that I have any good news for Rangers fans tonight. I will go into details about that right after this. Former Raiders head coach John Gruden announced his resignation yesterday after some questionable emails resurfacing from the past. Gruden reportedly sent multiple homophobic, racist, and misogynistic emails to the Washington football team in 2011. This investigation from the NFL was underway after the league started looking into workplace misconduct allegations referring to the Washington football team, and the emails from Gruden were discovered. During his resignation announcement, Gruden stated, "I love the Raiders and do not want to be a distraction. Thank you to all the players, coaches, staff, and fans of Raider Nation. I'm sorry, I never meant to hurt anyone." In place of Gruden, the Raiders have installed assistant coach Rich Bisaccia as the interim head coach. It is unclear whether a new coach will be hired in the near future. Playoff baseball is in full swing as we have our first team enter their respective league championship series as of last night. The Boston Red Sox and Tampa Bay Rays took the field at historic Fenway Park, where the Red Sox had more than one advantage, notably their huge home field advantage due to their passionate fan base. The Sox were able to get out to a 5-0 lead, and the series looked to be within their grasp, but the Rays had other ideas. Tampa was able to tie the game up at 5-5 in the top of the 8th inning, but in the bottom of the 9th, Kike Hernandez made sure this game didn't go into extras.
On an 0-1 pitch, Hernandez lifts one to left center field. It is pulled in by Meadows. Here comes Santana. The Red Sox onto the championship series.
With last night's win, the Red Sox have advanced to the ALCS, where they will play the Houston Astros. And now, speaking of the Astros, they actually just finished up their game against the Chicago White Sox in Chicago. Houston came into this game leading the series 2-1, and unfortunately for everyone except Astros fans, they defeated the White Sox 10-1 and took the series 3-1. With this win, the Astros are heading to their 5th straight championship series, where they will be playing the Red Sox for a trip to the Fall Classic. I don't know about y'all, but I'm sticking with what I said last week. Go Sox! That's all I have tonight. Back to y'all at the desk.
Thanks, Link. You know, Isabella, it's been amazing to be able to sit back and watch some of the greatest baseball stars battle it out for the Fall Classic.
I can agree, but David, what if I told you that you have the chance to see some real stars? A company called Stratospheric Ballooning Worldview has opened up reservations for its 5-day adventures. 8 passengers and 2 crew members will soar 100,000 feet for 6 to 12 hours at a time. But it comes at a cost, $50,000 per seat. They are scheduled to begin in early 2024. Where will this hot air balloon take you? How about places like the Great Barrier Reef, the Gaza Pyramids in Egypt, and the Great Wall of China? Talk about a view.
I'll be honest, it's going to take $50,000 for me to actually go, so I wouldn't do it otherwise.
Understandable.
Thanks for watching ntTV Nightly News.
Join us again tomorrow night here at 6 on North Texas Television.